There's only a couple days left until Christmas, which means there are only a couple days left until I have to put away the Cars Christmas tree. So before we start today's review, I want to give you guys a little bit of a tour of my setup this year. I've absolutely loved having the Cars mini Christmas tree ever since I got it back in, was that 2022? Right? Man, time goes by like crazy. This was sold at Hallmark with a bunch of different little things, and I went there after Christmas, so I got everything half off. I got this mini tree in black. They also had it in white. Weird for a tree to be, painted in black, but I did like it better than the all-white one. I got it for only $10. It was supposed to be $20, but I got half off. It's just a little fake tree. My family's always had real Christmas trees, so it's kind of weird for me to have a fake one, but, it's a little fake mini one. And they sold this adorable Cars tree skirt and tree topper together. That looks like the piston cup. Of course, you see it at the start of every review. And, of course, we got a couple different packs of ornaments. There was this pack, which just had images of several Radiator Springs cars. And you can see some over there. There's Doc. And then they sold little mini ornaments of McQueen and Mater. And then the following year, they sold Doc, Sally, and Ramon separately. Again, you haven't really seen this side of the tree. On the back, there is nothing. It's Commander Cody. Say hi. Okay. Yeah, so this is my setup this year. Every year, I try to make the ornaments a little different. One of my main goals this year was to keep the Doc and Ramon away from each other, because Doc and Ramon have both an image ornament and an actual physical one. So I kept them apart, and in turn ended up putting Ramon by Doc and Doc by Ramon, but hey, that works. So, yeah. And a little secret, a little fun fact. I showed this during my Dave Alternators review the other day. I thought it'd be fun to give you guys a peek behind the scenes when it wasn't one of the 25 days reviews. But the lights that you see turned on are actually hidden underneath the tree skirt. This is a set of fairy lights that my sister had when she was in college, and she lets me use them every year here. So we got a little complete Cars Christmas tree. Hello everybody, and welcome to day 21 of 25 Days of Suggestions 2025. Today we have a very interesting item here on the shelf. This is Carla Veloso with Flames, a suggestion from Galaxy Nail 2025. Thank you so much for your suggestion as always, and guys, make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see what we're going to be reviewing up next tomorrow. Just a few days left. Here's the thing, right? After today, we got the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And then on the 25th, I always handpick a review. I don't use the random name picker for the final day. So only 3 more name picker choices left. So going to be very interesting. We got so many great suggestions this year, and it's been so much fun reviewing all of them. And Carla Veloso with Flames is a very interesting item, and one that, honestly, I think people remember most for having missed potential, right? This item is it's kind of awkward. First released back in the All in All Blowout line in 2014, it returned in 2020 in the World Grand Prix line, which is how I got it. And, the other with Flame diecast, Nigel Gearsley, fantastic item. Look at that. That is such a good-looking diecast with the flames exploding out of the sides. The canceled ones we got also look great. A shame they didn't happen. Carla, well, Carla's main problem is her facial expression. Yeah, for whatever ridiculous reason, they didn't give her a new face for this release. This is easily one of just the biggest blunders in the history of the Cars diecast line, in my opinion. There are a lot of cars out there that don't get new facial expressions. Nowadays, most variants we get have exclusive faces. But, it's always been on and off. Sometimes we get them, sometimes we don't. And I've never seen a car that needed a new facial expression more than Carla Veloso with Flames. From this angle, this literally just looks like Carla Veloso. Okay, because Carla's flames are only shooting out of the back, which is movie accurate, but with no face showing her shock or her in pain, it just looks like normal Carla. I mean, look at her on my shelf. Look at her on my shelf, right? Right? This looks like normal Carla. You can't even see the flames on a shelf like mine. So, I mean, they really failed big time with the face, and it's hard to look past. I think this This is really an item that was ruined by the lack of a new expression. What happened here, guys? Really should have done more. Now, Carla is full of an absolute ton of details, and I'm going to try to get through them rather quickly. I'm actually in the middle of baking cookies. My sister and I have been spending the last 2 hours making sugar cookies. It's been fun, partially a nightmare, and now the dough is cooling, and then we got to cut it out and eat cookies. I will tell you guys tomorrow how the cookies were. I don't think... We used to make sugar cookies a lot when I was a kid, but I don't think we ever made them from scratch, so I am a little scared. Anyway, Carla has all of this beautiful detailing. Really underrated detail on her are all these sort of speckled dots. Unfortunately, you got that kind of grainy Thailand detailing on Carla, so it doesn't look as bright or vibrant on this variant. There are other Thailand Carla variants where it looks way better. Here's my original made in China Carla. You can see those dots a whole lot better. You know, GRC Carla looks really good. But this variant, unfortunately, a bit grainy, bit faded there, but you could still see all those dots on her. This is going to sound stupid, but Carla's design, especially those dots, always reminded me of, like, pool tiles for some reason. But yeah, all these intricate swirls and designs, I do think the original Made in China Carla is a lot more vibrant, but honestly, this is one of those cases where the coloring looks a bit different off camera. Looking at this through the lens, the green looks a bit duller than it does in person. Yeah, I mean, front of Carla is definitely a pretty vibrant green. It just looks a little duller on camera. We also have this nice dark blue bumper there. We've got our headlights and a facial expression that is nice and in character for her. It's just not the face she should have when this is happening. On the back, we got the number 8 there. All in all, World Grand Prix logo, World Grand Prix on the spoiler. Now you could really see those pool tile-esque dots. Really very nice. And yeah, I mean, come on. The flame detailing here is pretty good. It's kind of cartoony and over the top and a bit strange. I definitely prefer the flames on Nigel. This is accurate to the scene. Carla's exhaust is at the back, whereas Nigel's is at his side. So it does work here and makes sense. And I do like the variety and color of the flames with these darker tips and brighter centers with a nice ombre sort of hue there. And I'm sure if you put a light in front of it, it lights up a little. Just a little. I guess you need a better light. But yeah, it's a bit too translucent, you know, you can't fully see through it, not fully transparent. There is a look at the other side, and finally, there is a look at the base. But now, it's time, guys. I have removed Carla's name from the random name picker, and we are going to run it. Let's see who tomorrow... I messed that one up. Let's see who tomorrow's review is gonna be. Oh, that's a cool one. All right, Metallic Snot Rod from the 2020 Scavenger Hunt line. That is a very cool, very unique one that I'm very excited to take a look at. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching this review, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 22. Bye now.